Okay, hope everybody got some good rest after that trip yesterday. We got a big week. Jacksonville on the horizon. You know, they're a physical team. They're going to present some challenges. Our guys are excited for it. I think our guys, again, we've had good meetings this morning in response to yesterday's game against Baltimore. Again, it was another frustrating loss. Certainly things we think we could have done better to give ourselves a better chance to win. There were some plays that we feel like we left on the field on both sides of the ball that would have given us that opportunity, but we didn't make them, and that's where we're at right now. So our guys are excited. They're encouraged to get back to work and keep finding a way to get that first win so we can get some momentum going in our direction.
Why do you feel your defense has such a tough time stopping mobile quarterbacks?
I think these last two certainly have presented some tough challenges for us. The guy yesterday, I think he had really 3 carries that took over 70 plus yards. He had 3 scrambles for 50. One of them was at the end of the half on a meaningless play that really helped us, quite honestly. And then, the remainder of the game, he had 20-something yards. So it's those big plays, and we lost leverage on 3 of those quarterback-designed runs. They got 70-something yards that really killed us. And it's one guy being 1 yard over in the right spot that's got a chance to limit a 30-yard gain to a 3-yard gain. And we knew that was going to be critical going into a team that essentially runs the triple option to an extent. But we didn't get it done, and they did, and that's the challenge. They do it really well. They do it really fast. And so now we've seen it, and we got to make the corrections and be ready for it again in a couple weeks.
How would you judge the pass rush for y'all through 6 games?
Not enough sacks. I can remember a week ago the kid, Kyler Murray got it out of his hand really quick. That ball, they got it out of his hands quickly. This one's a little bit more play action. Let's draw it back. I thought there were several times where our coverage is doing a great job, and really we're staying pretty disciplined with our rush lanes, and he's dancing around in the pocket, buying a lot of time. That gets hard. And, one time he bursted out of there on a 3rd and 16 and got the first down. And, so that part is challenging. And our guys up front are tested the entirety of the game. We've played 4 Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and now Lamar Jackson that extend plays as well as anybody in the league. And that's been a real challenge for our guys up front. And, it's obviously not as good as we'd want to be in any area on any phase of the team right now, but we've given ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter. We've had some really rough games, especially in the first half, and the team keeps fighting and gives themselves a chance in the second half. And we just, again, someone's got to step up and make that one play that changes the game for us.
Gino was the low double-digit guy in sacks last year on this team.
Mm-hmm.
He's only got 1 through 6. Is that surprising so far?
Again, these 6 quarterbacks we faced run around like crazy, and there's not a lot of sacks against them, period. And we'll see. It's 6 games in. I expect the production to still be there from those guys in the interior. And I know Gino's still working hard and presents a lot of problems for the teams that he faces.
Do you expect AJ to go full swing in practice?
We'll see. We'll still. I don't want to make any declarations on that right now, but he's certainly progressing.
I guess Denard can come back this week. Is your vision to him come in and just be full?
Well, so we can start the 21-day window here this week, and you get a chance to see him in practice and then make that decision. And that's something we'll consider. You want to see him in pads and out there running around, and certainly he's a player we anticipated coming back and being ready to play. Now you just got to see it live and in person, and then we can make that decision at the end of the week.
Along with that, Dre, do we know much about where he's at?
We're still waiting to hear on Dre. We'll see here probably this afternoon, I would imagine.
Joe Mixon got 21 snaps yesterday. Was that situational by design?
It was. We got into some passing situations where Gio is in there and does a great job, and obviously it's clear that we had a difficult time running the ball yesterday. It was a difficult front to run against, and they gave us a hard time, and we felt like we were having success there on the edges in the pass game, and that was one of the areas we leaned on to try to get us back in the game.
Can this offense ever be consistent if the offensive line doesn't play better?
We're still working to find that chemistry up front. It's these guys need reps side by side, and that hasn't happened. You know, Billy and John Jerry side by side probably have gotten a day together. Redmond 0 days. But they're not mistargeted in the protections. There's not guys just running free. Really, the two sack. We had a sack against Arizona on a shovel pass, which went down as a sack. It was a run call, and they tackled us in the backfield, and it was a sack. And in this game, we got sacked twice in the 2-minute drive when they're just teeing off because they know we're throwing the ball every snap. And so they got us. But I think overall, the last 2 games, especially in the protections, they've been targeted. They've done a nice job. Andy gets hit occasionally, but the sacks, they've prevented the sacks. You know, it's just we got to get the run game going. We're constant. We talk about it every day. We're trying to find the best answers. We're trying to find the best rhythm for the 5 guys that are up there playing. What do each of them do best? What's the best way to find success? It's an ongoing conversation that's really nonstop.
Do you find yourself feeling limited as a play caller because you know, like you say, you don't want to be dropping back all the time, but you're trying to stay out of these, you know, 3rd and 10s. So you're doing a lot of the quick stuff. I mean, do you feel like there's a limiting nature to it for you right now because you're worried about some of that stuff?
We're just trying to do what we have to do to win. We're trying to find any formula we can to consistently score points. I'm sure the next question is, why don't we score in the first half? We know. You know, we're trying to find the way to do that, and analyze everything that happens during the course of the week to try to find improvement, so that we can score points and take the pressure off of our defense. You know, I say that a lot, but that's the truth.
Is it possible to scheme up a running game, or that's just one of those things where you just gotta win up front?
Combination of both. You know, we're constantly looking at different schemes. We employed a lot of different schemes yesterday. And then at the same time, it's on the players. They got to win some one-on-one battles. They got to move guys. We can't always be in combination with one another. There's some times where you're one-on-one in the run game and you got to move somebody. And that's everybody. That's the running back setting it all up. That's the 5 guys up front. That's the tight end doing his job. Quarterback getting us into the right runs. Receivers blocking on the perimeter. It is all of them. And it's everybody's got to continue to improve.
Did Billy Price do enough to start week 7?
Billy Price will start next week. Yes.
Left guard.
At left guard.
You know, how much of, you said you want to see a lot of consistency with the line. How much of that is you having conversations with Jim saying, hey, we don't need to maybe tinker as much as we are? Or, I mean, it's not possible to not tinker. We lost a guy in the 8th play of the game. So Redmond jumped in there. And Redmond guys had 4 practices under his belt, and he did a really good job. He was physical, brings great energy to that line. With injuries, it just is. We can't make an excuse for it. We got to find a way to find those reps together and find that consistency. And I have full belief that we will. There's no one that doubts that. It's just we face some tough times sometimes in some games, and we just got to find a way to get through it and find an answer.
Some of the guys in there said that Gio was vocal in the locker room yesterday in Baltimore. Does that,
right,
when a guy who's kind of quiet, I know he's a veteran, but kind of quiet, when he speaks up, does that send a message to the team?
It does. I think there's a couple guys that fall into that category who have said some things that I think we really needed to hear. Some of those veteran leaders that might be described as quiet guys that have stepped up and said some things that need to be said, and that's been really encouraging. That's when this team is still going in the right direction. It's frustrating. We don't have any wins to show for it. But if you could be in the locker room with us after a game, the week leading up to a game, then you would see the things that I see and a reason to keep fighting that things are going to get turned around.
Zach, I know you can't say what they said, but what needed to be said? What needs?
Let's just holding everybody accountable, making sure everybody's held accountable, and making sure we just keep correcting the things that we need that are easily correctable. There's some things that the opponent does sometimes that stops us, and then there's some things that we do that hurt ourselves. And playing with better leverage on defense sometimes will help us in the run game. That's kind of been some errors that have happened the last couple of weeks. Guys not being where they're supposed to be on the perimeter, where they've gotten some big runs that could be shut down on offense. Again, there's some one-on-ones we got to win, and we haven't consistently done that. But some guys stepping up and making sure they say the things that everyone needs to hear.
How active will y'all be as sellers at the trade deadline? Is that a conversation that y'all are going to have?
I don't really have any comment on the trade deadline right now.
Zach, if you look at how you're using your tight ends, is that try to get them on the field maybe more of a factor, or is that just
Yeah, trust me, we carried a lot of different personnel groupings in that game. As the game goes, we make decisions on where we think the strength is. We felt like we were throwing the ball pretty well on the outside there in that game out of 11 personnel, and so that was something that we found we were having success with, and we continued to do it.
When the season started, what did you think, how would Tyler Eifert work best, and kind of what was the plan, and how has that been implemented so far?
Yeah, Tyler has held up well in the run game and in protections when we've asked him to do it. Everyone always has looked at Tyler as a mismatch in the pass game, and we still feel that way. You see him on third down, you see him in the red zone. We targeted him a couple times in that game, and he came through for us, 2 big third down conversions, and that's what we expect from Tyler.
I heard that.
Auden Tate was kind of the lone bright spot on offense, it feels like yesterday. What do you feel about his performance?
It's arrow up every week. He's a competitor, loves football. He's tough. He can catch. Those are 2 traits as a receiver that it sounds crazy to say that, but when you got a guy who's physically and mentally tough and has great aggressive hands, those are 2 really good qualities to have, and he has those. He won a bunch of 50-50 balls yesterday. Andy did a great job with the ball placement on some of those to give only Auden a chance. And Auden came up and made those plays, some big-time plays. I think he was targeted 12 times. He only caught 5. When I saw that stat after the game, I was surprised because it felt like there were more plays there. There were some that were pretty tightly contested that didn't go his way, and some that did. He drew some penalties down the field. So I thought he had a good game.
Does Andre have a shot at playing? How's John? I think John Jerry is.
I thought John Jerry did a nice job. We did not help him at the end of the game, in that 2-minute drive. So he was caught there on an island, and the guy was teeing off pretty good. But I thought overall, John held up. He did a nice job over there. What was your other question?
Does Andre have a shot this week?
We'll see. We'll see as we go through the week. He's kind of been a guy we've got through practice most of the weeks anyway. This last week he couldn't go, and we'll just see as we get back on the practice field what his status is.
Like day to day?
I'd say day to day.
Cordy's week to week.
Cordy's week to week.
Miller, how severe is his groin injury?
I'd say he's doubtful right now. We'll see as the week goes.
To your knowledge, when's the last time Corey's tested through protocol?
I think he's seen doctors in the last couple of days. That's what I'd say about that.
Last night, you said after the game there's a pissed off mood in that locker room. How tough is it for you to hear that you're one of 2 winless teams in the NFL? Is that something that pisses you off too?
Yeah. Yes. We go through the week with a great sense of urgency, and at the same time, you don't just want to put all that pressure on everyone in the locker room's shoulders that we got to get this win. You want guys playing loose. We don't want guys that fear failure. They go out there and they're so tight that they fear making a mistake. That's not what we want. We want guys to be playing fast. The mistakes are going to happen. How do you rebound the next play? But we still want to have that aggressive mindset. We need to attack teams like we're 6-0 right now and not 0-6. We got to approach practice like we've won every game, and we got that almost in a sense that way about us that we know we can go out and win this game. And I expect our mindset to be great. I expect our practices to be sharp and have great energy. These guys will respond the right way.
How can you, specifically keep it fun? I know you preached that from the beginning here,
right.
But when it's 0-7, it's 0-6, it's hard to do.
Right. There's the balance of making sure that everyone is on top of the details and keeping a high standard. And at the right moments, it's okay to laugh. It's okay to not just dread. We don't want guys to dread walking in this building every single day. And so in our own ways, there's moments where that can come up, but our focus is unchanged. I do appreciate the focus that our guys have had. It is really, it's been a winning focus. We haven't got it done yet, but it'll come. This will be the toughest stretch we ever experience, that's for certain. And we'll look back on this and as a springboard for great things to happen in the future. But right now, this is certainly the toughest stretch we'll face.
One more minute. Is there anything intangibly you tried, something different? Because you can sit up there, you can film, you can scheme.
Right.
Is there anything as a coach, I've seen someone do this before, I'm going to try this with these guys, anything you can do off the board?
There are some things, and nothing I want to speak publicly about, but there are some things we look at everything to make sure that we're not just stubborn in the way we approach it. It's things that have worked in the past that maybe we just tweak, whether that's practice, whether that's the way we game plan. There's a lot of things that we just try not to have too big of an ego and say, well, this is the way I've done it. It's worked. This is how it has to be done. There's certainly core beliefs that we have that we believe in that we don't stray from schematically. But at the same time, we look at, we're 0-6. We need to make sure that we're turning over every rock to make certain that we're giving ourselves the best chance to be successful.